right, so let me introduce our speaker to you. Reverend Sharon Flynn is a minister at the Metaphysical Chapel of Life, and she's been a chapel member since 1994. She became a novitiate in 1999 through our chapel, and in 2002 she was fully ordained by the Church of Enlightenment, which is our charter church. She's owned and operated Hypnosis and Healing Centers since 2002, locally and in other areas, and she's using her gifts and her abilities as a spiritual director and consultant, an advanced energy healer, a certified hypnotherapist, and a teacher of classes and workshops. Sharon's prior career in the medical field as a radiology technologist of 25 years helped shape her natural healing abilities and her understanding of the human form. Here at the chapel, she is the minister who oversees our spiritual healing, and she teaches spiritual healing classes and also facilitates our seasonal celebrations. She is blessed with 3 grown married children, 2 sons and daughter, and a daughter with 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. Is that up to date?
There should be 6, but
Wow.
no, well, number 6
group.
has not arrived yet.
Okay.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
So please join me in welcoming Reverend Sharon Flynn to the podium. I need just the camera.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll need to. Are you not that much taller?
No, maybe not.
Okay. You good? Perfect. Okay. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
How's everyone today? Beautiful day. Beautiful day. So I'm very grateful and thankful I'm here today to share some of my experiences, spiritual experiences, and other insights that want to come through. So before I start with the lecture, I always start with a prayer. So let us pray. Father, Mother God, Heavenly Creator, I ask for the connection to be made to the higher self. And as we connect to that highest wisdom, I ask that I be utilized as the purest form of this channel of this work, and that this be done for the free will, for the good of all, in the Christ light, in the Christ name. Amen. All right. So the title of this lecture is Celestial Beings of Light. There you go, Debbie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
So I like to listen to a lot of spiritual teachers, and I have quite a few favorite ones. To be honest, I don't know where I heard this, which one of it was, so I can't discern, but I think it's Carrie Kay. She's really a very high level spiritual teacher on YouTube, and I think she's on a bunch of other sites too. So I think one of her, I'm pretty sure it was her. One of her comments that really got my attention was that we are all celestial beings of light. And, we discount that very quickly because the other celestial beings are like the angels and the spiritual beings of light, the guides, and even some of I would call our galactic brothers and sisters that have come here to this earth to help us move forward in a higher vibration. So one of the connections to that, when I heard her say that, it put me right back into a book that I truly, truly love. It's The White Book by Ramtha, Ramtha. Ramtha was channeled by J.C. Knight years ago. You can find her all over the YouTube, but they actually took and measured her shift in her vibration when she would channel Ramtha. So it's a very interesting channeled messages that she came through her. So one of the things that I wanted to just quickly read is that, and The White Book is probably, I don't know if it's the favorite book for a lot of, well, you can tell this is pretty old because this has got all sorts of stains on it. So I handle this book a lot and read it. So I'm just going to quote just a couple of paragraphs. So, you are really rather splendid, every one of you, for you are volatile, creative, unique, and indeed divine. Through you have been taught that you are wretched creatures What really matters is how you are known in the understanding called life. And in that understanding, you are known as beloved of God, the Father, for you are the eternal part of the mind of God. And yet, for you to realize how precious and truly are but your will. Who you are to me is a beloved brother, not only to me, but to all entities, seen and unseen, in all universes and in all levels of life. For you are linked together through the grace, the intelligence, and far greater through the love of that which is termed God, the wondrous thought that supports and holds you through all eternity, regardless of all your outrageous endeavors. You are a grander treasure than you know, for without even one of you, life and universes and molecular structures would never have existed. For you, and because of you, life has become exuberant display of intelligence, of the drama, if you will, of your continuation of your patterns of thought into brilliant colors of reality. You are precious indeed, for regardless of how you think of yourself, you have added to the spectacular display of the totality of all that is. I love his work, or her work, or whoever's work, the channeled work, because it gives us another viewpoint of who we are and how totally special and honored we are. When each one of us walks into the room, we don't walk into this room by ourselves. We walk into this room with a whole bunch of council members and spirit guides and angels. We're not here alone. We've never been here alone. But yet we feel like we are. And that's what the meditation is. It's like a bridge to help us to feel that essence. And one of the things that I have been very, very blessed with is many different spiritual experiences. And the one spiritual experience I wanted to bring forward and share with you was I was doing a lot of cleaning this one day and painting trim and just redoing my house in Hampton when I lived there. And I go, okay, my neck is hurting. I got to lay down for a few minutes and meditate. So I did, and it was just like every other day, nothing big. I was just relaxing my muscles, bringing in the light. And all of a sudden I felt this presence like at my feet, and it started getting warmer and more expanded, and I could feel the shift in my feet starting to fill up with this light. And I go, gosh, I'm like a light bulb. I'm just emanating light everywhere. It's coming out of my pores. And as it moved up to my knees, it moved up to my hips, and I felt more and more and more expanded. And as it moved into my heart, I could feel the door of my heart opening up wide. And then it kept moving, and all I got was, I'm beaming out light, and I can feel the presence. It was like enfolded, like I was enfolded in this beautiful light. And it was just so healing, and I could just feel the third eye opening and my crown chakra just being, and it wasn't just coming up from my feet. It was coming up from my feet and coming back down and back up to my feet. It was a continuous flow. And I felt so expanded at that point. Well, whenever I have these interesting spiritual experiences, they just don't go away. They stay with me for days. And so I was happy to get up and finish the bathroom and get everything done in it. And I was just in bliss. And it was just so wonderful. So I felt like I was the light bulb. And I even looked at myself. I was like, well, I kind of look a little more glowing or something. And, so I didn't even think anything about it. I mean, I thought everybody had these spiritual experiences. So, and I had one. Unfortunately, it was while I'm driving. And I was going to go meet a friend at my work, and we were just going to go out to eat and do a few things together. And I was like, okay, you got to do it right now. Okay, you got somebody else on the handle of the car. And I just went off and did some journeys, and eventually I came back, and I just felt very blissful, not even of this earth. And anyways, that was a fun night. I got back in my car, and the electrical system in my car did not work. And I go, I hope it starts. And it did. It started right up. And I drove home. And I started it the next day, and it was still glitching. But it started. And then I went to work, and then I called my son-in-law because he's the car person. And I go, how can I stop this electrical glitch in my car? He goes, just unplug one of the wires of the battery. And so I did, and it did work, and I plugged it back in. So I always have a little bit of trouble with electronics anyways, from this energy that I have been in and have received. One of the things I find funny is I used to have a credit card swiper, and the credit card swiper, after 2 sessions, working on people, didn't work anymore. So I had to hand over the swiper and let them do all the work while I walk way away. So yes, so when you have a lot of spiritual experiences, near-death experiences, people do have have problems with electronics. So I'd like to kind of bring it back in that we are beings of light. And because I do believe everyone has had some experiences of knowing that they are light, that their energy field around them is expanding right now, because we're moving into a new age, an age of light. And that age of light has been coming in gradually since about 2012. That's what the Mayans meant by it's the end of an age. And that's when the light age started. Very, very slowly to me. Not fast enough. But there was a lot of work that needed to be done to switch us on to receiving more light. So that's been quite a good 12 years ago. And we are moving very rapidly now. Everybody can tell time has shifted because it's going so fast. I mean, you blink and it's the end of the week. It's the end of the month. It's, time for Thanksgiving. We are very much moving into what I would call a crystalline time. That means that there's so much more neutrinos or God's love around us that it's healing our wounds. It's creating an opportunity. Just like that was such a great meditation, Trish, just perfect. Because that is such a good way to do your cleaning out of your wounds, to immerse yourself in that light. Remember the movie Cocoon? I love that movie. Those beings just zipped their little, body off, and they were light underneath. Love it, love it. So, and that's who we are. We merge right back into the light, and we came from that light, and we are that light. So working with the light is truly one of my passions here on this earth. One time, I want to tell you another experience before I go on to the other. My dogs were barking, and I felt like there was somebody might be in my yard or whatever. So whenever I have this moment of fear, because I don't really fear too much, we all have fears, but that's not, I know what to do with that fear. I know to ask the guidance, to ask the beings, what do I need to do to seal my home, seal my yard. And so and it also coincided with a dream. So I woke up from a dream actually feeling like there was a low presence around me, a dark presence. And I told him to leave, and then I literally used the light to seal the inside of my house. And when I do that, I'm more of a feeler than a visual. Some people are more of a visual than a feeler. So you can use your gifts. So let's say all our senses are either usually females are feelers and males have a tendency to be very visual. But either way, you imagine, you feel like the light, like the sunlight just is in your living room or in your home, and just put that light all over in that house and have a grid around that home. Then you start filling up your yard with this beautiful light. And you have these points of connection, and that's where you anchor it and anchor an angel there. Well, they showed me to do something else. They showed me to have angels stacked up like dominoes all around my yard. And they were very, very tall. So my whole yard was filled with these angels in a row, just like a domino. And then I went right back to sleep and I felt safe, didn't have any other problems. So we can utilize light and light forms as a way of protecting ourselves, as a way of just filling the places up wherever you go. I love to fill up Walmart with light. It's a great place to leave it. You're putting that positivity in that place. It sure needs it. Anywhere I go, I just generally fill up the space with light. It's easier for me. So I can walk in the light in that place, and everybody else can too. And everybody usually gets along really well when I do that. So, you know, and I've said this before in many different ways, that every morning I go out and fill myself up with light in the light of the sun. Sometimes it's a little later than I want it to be, so it might only be 5 minutes. My backyard only gets like, 7:30, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is about the right time. Then I sit in my chair, have my coffee, and I just fill myself up with light. And I ask to be filled with enough light, and you can intend any of these light structures that you're creating. You can fill up with enough light to have enough energy to do what you need to do that day and till the time that you go to bed. However, you intend any light structures, anything you want to create, intend it, the purpose about it. So when I do that, I just have plenty of energy. Everything flows really well for me. And it will work for you too. It's not just my stuff. This is me sharing all the tools that I have to give to y'all. So the more we experience light, and the more we merge with light, and the more that we intend with light, we get the energy that we need. We get the connection that we need. Because God is love, and God is light. And if we are truly the celestial beings, we're going to develop more and more and more of our inner power, our inner abilities. We're moving very rapidly into bringing in more DNA structures. We'll little by little, everybody's going to have different gifts that are going to come in, different aspects. Wherever you are starting, wherever you will be, it's about your intention. If you want that connection, you're going to make time for that connection of light. And that's super, super important. If you think about it, I work about, four clients, 4 days a week. And so I'm kind of immersed in light at least 20 hours a week. But I immerse myself in light everywhere I go. So it's what you focus on is what you're going to get. And that's one of the biggest things about working with light. It tends to uplift you. It tends to hold that higher vibration. And we all will dip down into a little sinkhole every once in a while, and that's okay, because some of those are our wounds that need to come up to the surface. And the more light we hold, the more the wounds will come up, and the old beliefs and the old systems that no longer are being held true. So know that when we do prayers here, we're sending light and love together. When you do your own prayers for people you know or whatever, you're sending light. So since we are those celestial beings, one of the things I think we want to also intend with that light is peace. You know, peace starts with me. It starts with you. So more light that you send is going to bring in a higher vibration, a faster frequency of change. And so know that the more light that we connect to and send for the well-being of others, the more experiences that we're going to have working with the light. If we are celestial beings of the light, so is everything that we do. That's what we connect to. We are becoming what I call the light architects. If you understand your responsibility of, you have structures around your energy field, and in those structures you can create whatever you want. So so when let's say I work with going to Walmart, and I'll anchor an angel on each corner of Walmart and just ask them to fill it up with light. And if I'm in a place that I don't really want to go to, I will put a light structure in that place and hold it and anchor angels in each corner. I put a structure so that way it's not going to eke out, if you would. It's going to stay in that form. And then I'm going to walk in a vertical tube of light and in a horizontal tube of light. That way I'm pretty protected at that point of cleaning out everybody's energy field when I walk in. That's one of the downfalls of being a light worker. You empathically clean everything out wherever you go. So the angels do that work for me. So one of the things I want you to hold on to is that you are the light architects. You are the celestial being of light. And you're here with your gifts and your strengths. And we all can work together in raising this frequency a lot more than what it is. The more as a collective consciousness, can you imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of people meeting every Sunday, focused on this light, focused on this connection and with intention of healing yourselves and healing your light and healing others, the more we're going to be moving into this new age. So also know that light is not only prayer, it's not only healing, but it's also unlimited. We have a tendency to think everything is limited in this world, and all we have to do is intend it and direct that light where we want it. So, and we also have all these entourage of beings around us too. You know, when somebody starts something that helps others, you're not walking in and doing it alone. You're walking in and doing it with your group, your council group members, whatever you want to call it, your tribe. And that's so important to remember. So when you start something, you start a wave of energy with your beings of light, and then that will spread out to others. So really all we have to do is allow that intention to combine it with light and love, and then direct it. So, and that's how we can be the light architects and heal ourselves, clean out our wounds, and be in a place of peace and love throughout the whole day, the week, the month, the year. Yay! So I'm so grateful and thankful you allowed me to share, and I'm going to hand it over to Trish again. Thank you.